fossil fuels and the use of fossil fuels in society has become so normalized, and we even see fossil fuel organizations operating with what we call a social license through sponsorship deals, through cultural institutions, to the point that it's become so commonplace in society that we can't even imagine an alternative. What comes to mind is Mark Fisher's capitalist realism here, that it's easier to imagine the end of the world than an end to capitalism and extraction. The tobacco industry used to have a great hold on global health conferences, and now we've finally sort of shifted that culture of realizing the dissonance of actually having the main culprit, the perpetrator of global health inequality and a global health crisis, being named and shamed, and we need to do the same for the fossil fuel industry. Yet despite this, the current COP29, which is taking place in Azerbaijan, has a presidency which called oil and gas a gift from God. And also we had an intervention and an expose that was released by Global Witness, which showed that they were trying to use the COP to make an oil and gas deal. And the last COP was also held in a petro-state, and in my opinion undermines the integrity of spaces that should be striving for an equitable phase out of fossil fuels. I mentioned we surpassed 1.5 degrees of warming for the first time. 1.5 degrees is the benchmark set out by the Paris Agreement, which in many ways 1.5 has kind of become synonymous with this sort of safe level of warming, but even at 1.5 we're going to see catastrophic climate impacts. And what makes things even more concerning is the fact that the Paris Agreement, being this global framework to phase out from fossil fuels, does not mention coal, oil and gas once. And they account for over 80% of global carbon emissions. They are the leading cause of the climate crisis. Yet our own UNFCCC framework does not mention fossil fuels, and that's why we need a fossil fuel treaty.